Hi, this is attorney Jonathan Weber, and today we're going to be talking about this strange policy called the owner-operator policy. And it's a policy that's not fair, and it's pretty crazy if you get hit by someone with an owner-operator policy, and that driver of the car that hits you is not the owner or the operator. That means that that car's insurance does not have to pay for your personal injury damages and injuries and doctor bills and everything that happens because of that accident. And that's horrible. It's not fair. And you definitely can't control who you're going to get hit by or what kind of policy the person that hits you is going to have. What you can control is the kind of coverage that you've got, the kind of insurance that you have, not just liability insurance only, but underinsured, uninsured motorists. That's what we call UIM or MedPay. That pays for your medical bills up to whatever limits of MedPay that you've got. Those are things that you can't control. And those are, bottom line, those are the things that you want to try to make sure that you've got and that you're comfortable with having so that if anything does happen, you ever do get in an accident, you're covered, no matter what. So the owner-operator policy, crazy policy. Here's what happens. That kind of policy, first of all, it's less expensive. It's cheaper, right? So that's why sometimes people have that, or if they are afraid of anyone else driving their car and having their car be in an accident, if someone borrows it, family member, whatever, friends, then they'll have that kind of policy, an owner-operator policy. Now, if you get hit by someone with an owner-operator policy, and that person driving is not the owner-operator, like we said, you're out of luck. You're not going to be able to get paid by that person's insurance company because that's not the kind of policy they had. Now, it's not your fault that you get hit by someone with an insurance policy that won't cover you, but that's just kind of the way it is. Now, what I can do as your attorney, once I start investigating the facts, find out about liability, first of all, and that's one of the first things I do is we'll talk about, did police arrive on the scene? Did they cite the other guy? Did they cite the other driver? Do you have that little slip that they give you? It's kind of like a receipt. That's the temporary copy of the traffic accident report. I can usually take a look at that and figure out who is at fault. And then I'll order the police report, get the full report, examine the whole thing, and then let you know right away what that police report says and what's going to happen from there on out. But I guess the point is, even if the other person gets cited, and even if it's totally clear they caused the accident, the problem's going to be if they don't have insurance that's going to cover that accident, then you're out of luck unless you have your own insurance. So that's why we have to make sure that you're comfortable with the insurance that you've got. So the other thing I can do is I'll investigate that driver's insurance. He or she may have their own insurance that covers them on their own car. So that's sort of a secondary level and a secondary investigation that I will take to make sure that there's no, at fault or what we call third-party insurance that could come into play for you to pay for your damages, for your injuries. So if it's an owner-operator policy and if the person driving was not the owner-operator of that vehicle, and then if that person also didn't have any of their own insurance, then what we're hoping is that you've got your own insurance. And by that, I mean underinsured, uninsured motorist or MedPay, which you pay a little bit more in premiums each month to have, and that's okay. And, people can afford different ranges. You can pay for, a couple thousand in MedPay. You can pay for 5,000. Some people have 10,000 in MedPay. Costs a little bit more, the more you have, obviously. And it's the same with underinsured, uninsured motorists. And in my Tuesday tips on my website and on Facebook, I sort of go over those things a little bit more specifically. So check those out if you've got questions. And again, they're on Facebook or on my web, 10,000 in MedPay. Costs a little bit more, the more you have, obviously. And it's the same with underinsured, uninsured motorists. And in my Tuesday tips on my website and on Facebook, I sort of go over those things a little bit more specifically. So check those out if you've got questions. And again, they're on Facebook or on my website, and there's a tips tab on my website, on my page, and that's at weber-lawfirm.com. So check that out and see if those answer your questions. If not, then give me a call, 702-538-5761, and I'll answer your questions. For sure. So that's the first part of owner-operator policy for the person that hits you. Now, the car you're driving, if you're borrowing that car, or if that car does not belong to you, but you had permission, say it's a family member's car, whatever, then if you're driving, and let's even just say that that car that you're driving has the protection of uninsured motorist, and had med pay. The thing is, if the car you're driving, and I've had these clients too, where their own car, had the car that they were driving had the owner operator policy, meaning that even though there may be med pay and even though there may be coverage like uninsured motorist, if you're not the owner operator and that's the kind of policy in the car that you're driving, you also won't be protected by whatever the car owner's insurance policy has to cover you. So again, another super important reason to have your own coverage, your own underinsured motorist coverage, and your own MedPay coverage. And again, call your insurance company. Find out how much more a month it would cost to have even a minimum amount of protection. I mean, think of it this way. An ambulance ride, that can be over $1,000 if you're going to be taken to quick care for ER, and that's not uncommon, or to one of the area hospitals here, to the ER unit. That can be $2,000 or $3,000 right there. So, and then there will be other charges that go along with that ER visit. There will be a radiologist bill, possibly. There will be an emergency physician's bill, probably. You can get up to $5,000 real quick. Just in within the first day after an accident, the treatment that you might have that's emergency related treatment. So again, another super important reason to kind of consider carrying your own uninsured motorist and your own MedPay to pay for those bills. And with MedPay and with uninsured motorist, as long as the accident's not your fault, they can't raise your rates. They can't charge you more premiums. They can't cancel you. By Nevada law, by statute, and by case law here in Nevada, they definitely cannot punish you in any way for using your own insurance. That makes no sense. You paid the premiums to have it. They agreed to insure you, and they can't punish you for using your own insurance. That's sort of the essence of that law. So just remember, there are a lot of things you can't control in an accident. Can't control who you get hit by. You can't control what kind of insurance they've got or that they don't have, but you can control what kind of insurance you've got. So call your insurance company. Take a second and see what it would take to get the kind of coverage that would protect you, that you're comfortable with, either MedPay or UIM. And then be safe out there, guys.